All right, so the Windows SDK for the .NET 4.0 was installed. I don't really care about the release notes, so I'll finish this little fella.
Cool.
All right. So the next thing that we'll install, I believe, will be GTK Plus. So let's run out to our downloads. Oops, sorry. I forgot what version of Windows I was using. All right.
We're getting old.
Yeah. All right, so we'll open up the downloads for this machine, and we should have GTK Sharp, which we already installed. So let's go ahead and install this baby. I don't think we have planned any GTK Sharp stuff, but it's good to have if you're really getting into mono-develop and developing graphical user interface form-based applications that you intend to deploy for Windows, Mac, and Linux. GTK Sharp is just stellar for doing that.
It's the way to go.
Yeah, and I've done it with apps for business purposes before. I've used GTK Sharp, but if you're just using Windows, then WinForms is all you need. So we'll let this guy install. All right, so GTK Sharp is installed, so we'll finish that. And then we'll do the Xamerine Studio, which is going to be our development environment for mono-develop. So we'll just go hit next, install. We've installed it, so let's go ahead and let's launch it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what kind of errors we get. The frog is making me a little bit nervous. I don't know about
you. He is awkward.
It's kind of like when you're in a haunted house and you look up at the painting and it smiles at you and then it stops smiling as soon as you look at it. Like in Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, right.
I am Vigo. All right. It's coming up. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's exciting.
This is very exciting. So we can let's make a new solution. And just to be clear, in the slides we had mono-develop, but Xamarin Studio has replaced mono-develop. But functionally, it's the same exact IDE. Those of you guys that have maybe used mono-develop in the past, well, this looks the same. You have the same, GNOME icon look and everything. So we'll create a new solution, and the solution is going to be a C# project. Now, you can see the cool thing about the Xamarin Studio is we have Android as a project type. You can also download, like we were saying, an add-on that lets you do iPhone development, which is cool. So here, we'll just do a C# console application, Brian. Should we just call it Hey Buddy?
Absolutely. What else would we call it?
Hey Buddy. Okay.
So that creates our project directory with all of our files in it. And inside the project directory, we're going to have a solution file to kind of be our table of contents and our program.cs, which is our public static void main.
And we talk about the whole thing about solutions and project files a little bit later. But you can see that as we just create this console program, I didn't have to do anything. It just created this was just auto-generated. So we have our namespace, Hey Buddy, which is just the name of our project. A class, which doesn't have to be, but typically you would see public class on the main method, the main class. So I'll just go ahead and put that there. Public static void main string args. So that's the command line args. Console.writeLine. Hello world. But we're just gonna say, Hey Buddy.
Absolutely. Hey buddy.
All right. So to execute this program, it's quite simple. We can go up here to the menu here. So the build menu. Brian, maybe you could explain to us, just give us a quick one paragraph, what we can do in the build menu.
So when you build your project, it will create an executable in a target directory. Now, if you are having an issue, you see where it says clean all or clean Hey Buddy. That will clean your Hey Buddy project and basically blow out your target directory where it's kind of compiled your program. So if we hit build Hey Buddy, that's basically just going to generate a little exe of this public static void main in a bin debug directory or a target directory, whichever. So if we take a look at where we save the project, you'll see this projects folder. And then there's the Hey Buddy project we just created, or the solution we just created. And inside that solution folder, we have a project folder for Hey Buddy and our Hey Buddy solution file. It's a lot of Hey Buddies.
Hey, by the way, I was talking for a while, but I didn't realize I was on mute. So I said a lot of interesting stuff that nobody heard.
No, that sucks. So you'll see the program file down below. That's the program.cs file.
The Siesta file?
Yeah, not Siesta. There's no naps here. It's the CS file, the C# file. And when we build the project, it'll create an executable in the bin debug directory out here. And you'll
Okay.
notice in the project in Xamarin Studio, you'll see the debug drop down on the top left. And we'll talk about debug mode later, but there's basically debug and release, and right now we're in debug mode.
Yeah, and we talk about this in depth in a later video. So let's go ahead and let's build Hey Buddy.